Hi guys, this is Tuplex and welcome back to the next installment of our Factorio Let's Play. Yesterday we set up plastic. We got sulfuric acid into production and it's currently being buffered into our storage tanks. Now, the next thing that we need to do is figure out how we're going to take care of the oil, the light oil and the heavy oil that we're producing. So I did some more calculations to figure out the design of all the oil. So let's take a look at that now. If we go back to Foreman, you'll recall that I said that Foreman is not very good at figuring out what we need for oil processing. As evidence of that, you can see here that this says we need 94 oil refineries doing basic oil processing. We're not going to do basic oil processing, and we certainly are not going to need 94. I think the reason it does this is because it figures out whatever is the lowest production and bases the constraint on that. Okay, it's also assuming that we're not doing anything with the oil. All right, so we can use this to figure out, for example, that we need 36 machines making solid fuel. That's valid. That we need 3 making batteries, and so on and so forth. 12 making plastic. But for the rest of it, we have to calculate it on our own. So what I did is I went in here and looked at how much solid fuel we need, which is 14.7 per second, and how much petroleum we need for... Now this is assuming that we're making solid fuel from petroleum, but we're not. We're going to make it from light oil because it's more efficient. Solid fuel from light oil requires 1 light oil per solid fuel. But if you make it from heavy oil or petroleum, you need 2 of either one of those. So light oil is the most efficient way to make solid fuel, and that's what we're going to do. For plastics, I'm sorry, but going back for a second, since it's 1-to-1, that means we need 14.7 light oil to make 14.7 per second solid fuel. For plastics, we need 41.79 per second of petroleum. And for sulfur, we need 3.25 or 3.26 of petroleum. Okay, so taking those numbers, I plugged those into a spreadsheet so that we could make the calculations ourselves. Okay, so again, here's the requirements for sulfur and plastic of petroleum. That means we need 45, a little more than 45 per second of petroleum in order to do 5 rocket launches an hour. And we need 14.7 solid fuel per second. Now, if we look at the recipes for advanced oil processing, coming just from the refineries, meaning that we're not considering what we get from cracking the oils, but just from the refineries, we get 1.375 per second of petroleum. So to meet this demand that we identified up here, that means we would need 32.7 refineries to get the petroleum that we need, and 13 of those would be needed to give us the light oil that we need for the solid fuel. So that's a lot of refineries. But I also wanted to consider that we're going to be cracking. Okay, so if we take the heavy oil and we crack it to light, we're going to get 0.1875 per second out of that. That's per, per refinery. So that means that we can actually get 1.3125 per second of light oil per refinery instead of only 1.125. So that means that we need about 11.2 refineries to get the light oil that we need rather than the 13 that we indicated up here. So I'm going to round that up to 12. So if we assume that we need 12 refineries just to get the light oil that we need, those 12 refineries are also going to give us 16.5 a second petroleum. If we take the 45.05 that we said that we need in total, we subtract the 16.5, that means that we need another 28.55 petroleum. I've done some other calculations that I won't go through in detail because they're a little bit complicated. But basically, I figured out that with full cracking of all the oil up to petroleum, 5 refineries with cracking will give us 10.375 petroleum. So to get about another 30, we would need approximately 15 more refineries. Okay, and we're just rounding up. So if we take those 15 plus the 12 that we said we already needed for the oil, that gives us 27. So for the design of our factory, I'm going to round that up again to 30. So we'll set up 30 refineries in total. We're going to need 36 chemical processing units for light oil to solid fuel. We're going to need 8 to crack heavy oil into light, and we're going to need 27 to crack light oil into petroleum. So this is going to be the design of our oil processing plant once we get it set up. Now, for now, we've got basic oil. Okay, we don't have advanced yet. So for basic oil, just to take care of the oil that we're making, we're going to need, for light and heavy, we're going to need 8 chemical processors for light and 4 for heavy. Okay, this is another calculation that I did in regards to basic oil processing. Okay, so right now I just want to set up what we need to take care of the oil that we are producing with these 5 refineries. I hope that all makes sense. I know I went through it kind of quickly. If you have any questions, please post a comment, and I can go through and review it again in another episode. You know, or go into some more detail later if that's going to be helpful to you. Okay, so let's set up 8 of these for the light oil to solid fuel. 1, 2, 3. And I'll do that by doing 2 rows of 4. And then for the heavy oil, we need 4. Okay, alien technology research is done. Let's see what else we can do without blue science. We're running out of options here. We can do speed modules. Combat robotics might come in handy. Let's see if there's anything else that we can make use of now. Yeah, let's do lab efficiency. Okay, and I'm going to set up 4 for heavy. Oh, looks like I'm 1 short. Let's make 1 more of those. And for the heavy oil, I'm also going to dedicate some of those to making lubricant. In fact, for now, I'll probably dedicate all of the heavy oil to making lubricant until we get some stored up. So I'm going to make a few more tanks, and I'll set up 4 storage tanks for lubricant. We'll need lubricant for electric motors for robots and for blue conveyor belts, transport belts, which we can't make yet, but fairly soon we will be able to do so. All right, so yeah, I'll set those up down. Where do I want to put the heavy? Let's put the lubricant over here. I thought I made more of those. Okay, let me make 2 more. I need iron. I picked up steel, but still need iron. So let's grab some iron plates from our line. Always grab more circuits when I go by. Always seem to run out of those. Okay, we'll set up 2 more tanks. And this will be for our lubricant. Okay, so these are going to be solid fuel from light oil. And like I said before, you can see here that 1 light oil makes 1 solid fuel, whereas you need 2 petroleum gas or 2 heavy oil. So, all right, and then I'll put 1 chest between each of these. So let's make 4 steel chests. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Set up our recipes. And put in some power poles, which we'll make right now. And I'll put in a couple of lights. Let's put power down over here as well. One in the middle. And these are going to be lubricant. And that's one heavy oil. That's not going to use them up. That's not going to use the heavy oil fast enough. So let's do, sorry, let's choose another research here quickly. What can we do here? Let's do speed modules. Okay, so I'll set up 2 for solid fuel and 2 for lubricant. All right, so we'll make another steel chest. I'm going to start using steel chests where possible, because eventually we're going to be replacing these chests with chests for the logistics network, and those require steel chests as an ingredient to make. So if I make steel chests now, they're not going to go to waste. And well, you guys know I'm all about efficient use of materials, so okay. All right, so now we just need to hook up the supply. We'll do productivity modules. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's see, we can do this side like this. The other side, I'll just run a pipe from this tank. Put one there, one there. Okay, that's done. Let's do combat robotics. You know, like I said earlier, we might not use all this stuff that we're learning how to make, but we definitely have a high capacity for research, so I think we might as well take advantage of it. From here. Oops. Okay. Probably not the prettiest pipe layout in the world, but like I said, that's not really my strong suit. Okay, so we're making solid fuel for now. We'll use that later, for sure. And we're making lubricant and solid fuel here on the heavy. So this should make sure that we don't fill up on heavy and light oil and cause our refineries to shut down. Okay, so now that that is taken care of, the next thing that we need to do is start setting up red circuits and batteries. So I think I'd like to do red circuits first. So I'm going to start by extending our bus down a little ways. Make sure we've got everything that we need. And we'll need to clear some trees out from here. Let's take a look at Foreman and see how many red circuit machines we're going to need. Eventually we're going to need 65. Okay, that's an awful lot. So for now, I think what we'll do is we'll set up 2 rows of 8 to begin with. That'll satisfy our immediate needs. Okay, so let's start by making some assembly machines. And before we even start putting the reds, I want to duplicate our green circuit setup because we're going to need more capacity there. So we'll do that real quickly before we get started on the red circuits. We'll just add another, basically duplicate the same setup as soon as I have those factories ready. Okay, so we'll just extend our belts for copper and iron. We're going to need some more fast inserters. I'll pick up some of the yellows. Oops. Okay. I think we can start doing some laser turret upgrades. And that goes like that. Okay. Alright, we'll copy these recipes over. We want blue inserters on all sides. And we need to make some more red inserters as well. Pick up some more iron. Okay, now with large power poles, we can do this with a lot fewer poles than we need of the wood ones. They're a pretty convenient size for this layout. And I apologize for I know you can hear the vibrations of my keyboard coming through my microphone. I apologize for that. At some point in the near future, I will be getting a stand for the microphone so that it's not resting on my desk and we can make that noise go away. So for now, I appreciate you bearing with me. Okay, I think that's good. Let's put in a couple more lights. All right, so we just doubled our capacity there. All right, now on the red circuits, let's take a look at what we need. We need 4 copper cables, 2 plastic bars, and 2 electric circuits for each one. So the way that I like to set this up is with a full belt of the copper wires and a split belt or a shared belt with plastic on one side and green circuits on the other side. That maintains the 2-to-1 ratio between copper and those other ingredients. Oh, we're low on power, so we need to go fix that first. That occurred to me because I saw that radar was turning kind of slowly. So let's go take a look at our power situation. I think that very likely when we added those extra chemical processing units, we kind of went over our limit. Okay, and then our miners start to slow down. They deliver less coal, and things start to rapidly go downhill from there. So to help alleviate that for now, I'm going to throw some wood in here. That'll get us some extra fuel. And let's go ahead and expand our power as quickly as we feasibly can so that we can keep everything running. And then we'll go back to our red circuits. I came here for iron plate. Okay. All right, so I've got 2 of those, so we need another 8. We need 5, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4 boilers. We need 5, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4 inserters. We need an offshore pump. And I've got pipes already. Okay. So let's set that up. That won't take us too long at all. Okay, laser turret damage 2. Let's do laser turret shooting speed for a couple of levels before we do more damage. You know, the nice thing about getting our research done quickly and early is that it frees up all of our production resources to make the rockets. When you're trying to build rockets and do research at the same time, it eats into your resources, and then when you have constraints, it's hard to tell whether you're running out because of your research or you're running out because you didn't make enough for the rockets, and so on. So it'll be a good thing to get all of our research done as soon as we can before we really earnestly start to get into the business of making our 5 rockets an hour. Let's pick up that turret and move it. Why am I missing power up there? Oh, I see. All right. This is kind of messy. I'll take an opportunity to just clean this up quickly. We'll put a large power pole down there. Need some copper. And we'll just run that up here. And that didn't work either. Okay. So let's put another one over here. There we go. Okay. And for the time being, since we're not going to need all of that plastic that we have the capability to make right now, I'm going to repurpose 4 of these drills to our power production. All right, so let's just keep an eye on this for a moment, and whoops. See, that's why I don't like carrying around the shotgun. I'm like the classical argument for gun control, in that I'm more of a danger to myself when armed than I am to the enemies. Okay. All right, so we're consuming a little bit less than 15. I think once we get some fuel down here, you know, let's send those over as well. Make sure we get plenty of fuel coming down here. Once those get fuel, then I think we'll... I think it would also help if we hooked these new boilers up to a power supply. That's part of my issue. Let's move that over one more. There we are. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we should be in good shape now. We still don't have enough fuel down here, but we are at least producing enough to keep everything running. So I think we'll be fine there once we get stabilized. Okay, let's do automobilism. We may want to build a car later, or even a tank. Tanks are actually pretty good for clearing alien bases. Okay, so we didn't get to the point yet where we can actually make the red circuits. I think we'll take care of that in the next episode. Thanks again for watching. Again, any questions or comments, please let me know, and we'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.